I got to tell you, they're the Twitter killer, and that's why everybody that's trying to get free speech is going on that platform right now, because you think that Twitter hasn't liked what we're talking about. Wait till you start blowing up a live forced organ harvesting with their partners, the Chinese Communist Party. Peter, your film really hit this hard, but you corrected me during break. I think I missed the main point of Dr. Tohti's presentation. Dr. Peter Navarre.
At lead, but what he said was that China, communist China, has the lowest rate of voluntary organ donations in the world. Yet, it has the highest amount of actual organ transplants. The only way that happens, the delta there, the gap there, is through the forced organ harvesting that the doctor and Mitch are talking about. In 2011, in my film, Death by China, David Kilgore, who Mitch referenced, basically lays that out. But in the beginning, it was just the Falun Gong in the Gulag prison camps. Today, it's also the Uyghurs, which is a vast supply. So, kick it back to you, Steve.
But by the way, this is what I said last night about the. See, we're trying to take down the CCP. Yeah. We're trying to take the CCP down right in the middle of the segment. That's okay. Yesterday I said about the Arabs, Saudi Arabia has cut a $500 billion deal, $550 billion to take output for 20 years to give 17% of Chinese Communist Party of 17% of their total oil needs. Here's the buried lead. It's going to be done in RMB. The Chinese Communist Party with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is now their partner. And the Chinese Communist Party is trying to destroy the United States of America and the entire Judeo-Christian West. Okay. Also, let's throw in India and Japan in there while we're at it. There's nothing that this criminal organization will not do. And that's why we wanted to highlight today the first of many visits with the heroic Dr. Tohti, who's been one of the whistleblowers, and the great investigative reporter Mitchell Gerber, who's really dedicated his life to this because it's so heinous. Dr. Tohti, you only got a couple of minutes. I just want to make sure, once again, that this is forced organ harvesting, live organ harvesting. Can you just tell our audience in a couple of minutes the forced part of this and the live part of this, what surgeons are doing to actually extract these organs from living human beings?
There were 6 surgeons in China, southern China, one hospital. They even published a medical article on a medical journal. On that article, they openly admitted that there was a donor brought into the theater, and they removed the donor's heart and the lungs. And they didn't tell you what happened to the donor, because donor was brought into the theater and the anesthetic was applied. When you apply anesthetic, it means this donor was alive. So that is to say, this surgeon, Chinese surgeon, they have brought that execution ground into the theater where people's lives supposed to be saved. And that was published on a Chinese medical journal. And that is how Chinese surgeons' mentality inside China. Because they don't think they are guilty.
Dr. Tohti, thank you very much. Look forward to having you back.